Tidbits from TNT, Thursday morning, January 16, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. TNT. Tishwash. Iraq calls on the world to conduct a comprehensive reform of the financial system and a dialogue on technology governance. The representative of Iraq to the United Nations in New York, Abbas Kazem Obaid, in his capacity as chairman of the Group of 77 and China, delivered the group's statement during the session of the United Nations General Assembly, in which the Secretary-General reviewed the priorities of his term for the year 2025, in light of the circumstances and challenges facing the international community. In his statement, the representative of Iraq stressed the complex and interconnected global challenges, including ongoing conflicts, the effects of climate change, poverty, hunger, high debt levels, limited financing for the Sustainable Development Goals, and the growing digital divide. He stressed the need to support developing countries in financing sustainable development through the Fourth Conference on Financing for Development. He called for a comprehensive reform of the global financial system to address structural inequalities, ensure equitable access to long-term finance, and advance sustainable development efforts. He also stressed the importance of fully implementing the decisions of the Conference of the Parties on Climate Change, while supporting the Secretary-General's efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Obaid also called for a comprehensive international governmental process to address the digital divide. The establishment of an independent scientific team for artificial intelligence, and the launch of a global dialogue on technology governance. Tishwash. Will the implementation of the oil and gas law stop the series of smuggling in the region? MP Nazim al-Shabli, a member of the Oil and Gas Committee, revealed today, Wednesday, that the Kurdistan region does not want to hand over oil revenues to the federal government. Al-Shabli said in a statement to Al-Maluma agency, the oil and gas law, which in turn limits oil smuggling in the region, is subject to political differences. Noting that the importance of enacting the law is to control oil revenues after the procedures to stop the region's exports through the Seyhan crossing and the intervention of international courts. He added, the region has no real desire to send oil imports, in addition to the continuation of oil smuggling operations. He pointed out that the enforcement of the oil and gas law in turn limits oil smuggling and obliges the region to send oil revenues, and stressed the need to send the draft oil and gas law for discussion and approval in the House of Representatives. Tishwash. Al-Idani. Al-Sudani's visit to Britain resulted in removing Iraq from the red list for risk assessment. Basra Governor Assad al-Idani revealed on Wednesday that the investment status in Iraq was raised from the red list to the orange list during Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's visit to London. In what he described as an important achievement, he revealed that new security and financial agreements were reached with Britain during the visit. Al-Idani, who accompanied the visiting Iraqi delegation to Britain, said in a statement reported by the official news agency, and reviewed by Al-Iqtisad News, that Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's current visit to Britain resulted in the transformation of the risk assessment in Iraq from the red list to the orange list in terms of the investment environment, and this is an important achievement and we may advance to yellow. He added, the businessmen accompanying the Prime Minister on the visit welcomed the new assessment, which may be transformed to yellow at a later time. He continued, many British businessmen have concluded agreements with the Iraqi side in several fields, including education and universities. And a number of British businessmen have agreed with their Iraqi counterparts to establish joint laboratories. He pointed out that the Prime Minister held a meeting today with the British Home Secretary, and many topics related to security were discussed, especially the file of exchanging expertise between the Iraqi and British Interior Ministries. He pointed out that there was also a financial meeting, and an agreement was signed between the Trade Bank of Iraq and British financial institutions. There is also a financial meeting attended by the Prime Minister that could discuss support for the Iraqi private sector from British financial institutions, especially after raising the risk assessment from red to orange. Tishwash. Parliament conforms to World Bank on the importance of government infrastructure in development. The Parliamentary Finance Committee confirmed to the World Bank delegation, today, Wednesday, the importance of keeping the infrastructure of the development path in the hands of the government. The media department of the Council of Representatives stated in a statement received by the Iraqi news agency, INA, that the head of the Finance Committee, Otwan al-Atwani, received a delegation from the World Bank headed by Jean-Christophe Carré, regional director for the Middle East, to discuss supporting the railway rehabilitation project within the Development Road Project, indicating that the meeting reviewed the economic and regional vision of the Development Road Project and its strategic importance in stimulating investment movement, maximizing non-oil revenues and providing job opportunities, and also discussed the possibility of the private sector contributing to its implementation. It added that the meeting also discussed the multi-stage support provided by the World Bank for the Development Road Project, including modernizing and rehabilitating the current railway network and linking it from southern Iraq through the north and reaching Turkey. Al-Atwani stressed, according to the statement, that the infrastructure of the development road should be in the hands of the government so that this important project that links Iraq to the countries of the world is not subject to influences, noting that our vision is for the Development Road Project not to be just a transit point, but rather we seek to be a gateway to revitalizing various economic and commercial activities and developing the infrastructure. Al-Atwani called on the World Bank delegation to present new visions and ideas regarding achieving optimal investment in this huge project, which is hoped to make Iraq an economic corridor linking Asia to Europe, stressing the need to expedite the submission of the feasibility study related to the railway development plan within the Development Road Project, and to contribute to mobilizing international expertise and attracting the private sector to invest in it in a way that serves the country's interests. He continued, "We look forward to holding joint workshops and expanded meetings with the World Bank to provide a full briefing on the project details and discuss its details in a way that secures broad parliamentary support for this borrowing," stressing that the Finance Committee supports any loans that are economically feasible and bring great benefit to the Iraqi economy, especially since investment in the railway sector is a successful trend and achieves a large financial return. For his part, the World Bank delegation appreciated the valuable comments submitted by the chairman of the Finance Committee, Otwan al-Atwani, within the framework of the rapid transition from the planning and vision stage to the implementation stage, stressing the World Bank team's readiness to submit the feasibility study, the project path and its details by next February. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.